Mr. Perry just mocked us for referring to Donald Trump as a dictator, so let's run through the list. Donald Trump has, since he was inaugurated, pardoned violent January 6 insurrectionists. Dictator. Defied Supreme Court orders and attacked the judiciary. Dictator. Unilaterally abolished congressionally chartered federal agencies. Dictator. Attacked the free press. Sounds like a dictator. Kidnapped people off of the streets and deported them to foreign prisons without due process. Sounds like a dictator. Defunded higher education. Dictator. Threatened law firms and the legal profession. Dictator. This weekend, he is spending tens of millions of dollars to host a massive military parade for his birthday. Is this North Korea? On top of all of that, our twice impeached president with a 34-count convicted felony president who is not a king has deployed the active duty military in American cities, and he has spent $134 million to do so. He has their guns trained on American citizens without the consent of local authorities or the state's governor to purposefully generate chaos and provoke a reaction. Meanwhile, we have Republicans on this side of the aisle asking governors of states about bathrooms. This is the most dystopian, horrific episode of Black Mirror that I have ever seen.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, and also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath who are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying. So it seems like you people are coming to the realization that DJ Trump does not have your best interest at heart. And as a matter of fact, he is that cruel Lord that the scriptures speak of. They say in the world that actions speak louder than words. And though Trump's words were smooth as butter, war has been in his heart all along as he forwards the agenda of the wicked elite. And now you MAGA supporters, you Republicans are starting to see this cruel Lord in action. And it's beautiful because, there's really no need to say, we told you so. All right? We told you so. The men of the Lord told you. And at the end of the day, prophecy is going to continue to speak. And you guys haven't seen anything yet. All right? You haven't seen anything yet. All the things that are taking place with ICE, this big, beautiful bill, Trump running the country into more debt. These are all light things, okay? Because ultimately this is going to culminate and lead to Jacob's trouble, okay? A time on this earth like never before. He is that cruel Lord. Matter of fact, let's grab Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Right. And this is speaking of America, okay, which the scriptures refer to it as spiritually Egypt. All right. Spiritually Sodom, the daughter of Babylon, Uz. OK. And obviously, by far, Trump is that cruel Lord. And I always say that he was the perfect candidate, okay, to win this presidency because the people have so much trust and hope in him that they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt all the way they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt as the pilot of this plane, even though the plane is nosediving, even though it's past the point of not able to pull up and correct this tailspin, this spiral. Okay. But they're going to give this man the benefit of the doubt until this plane nose dives into the ground, man. So it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the Lord Adawan of hosts. Okay. He's that cruel Lord, Let me give you a quick example.
Get back to work. I need you to leave. This is private property. Escort her out.
You need me to leave?
Yeah.
Why?
Escort her. Yeah.
And ultimately, you see this devil taking these extreme measures, acting as a dictator, coming down with great wrath. All right. Because what? The devil knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay. To implement his new world order, to implement the agenda of the elites. Okay. Before Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus, throws a monkey wrench in all his plans. So this is why you're seeing him act in this fashion. Okay. And like I said, you guys haven't seen anything yet. All right. It's starting with these, illegal immigrants. They set the precedent. And then he sent American citizens to Guantanamo Bay. All right. Without a trial. All right. All this is just setting the precedent to what's to come. OK, things are going to get worse and worse. You have no rights here. All right. The Constitution has been thrown out of the window. And how can you tell? Because the actions that DJ Trump is getting away with. OK, there is no more Constitution. So from here, let's grab Psalms chapter 64 and verse 2. And it reads, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Right. The secret counsel of the wicked. All right. Who's the wicked pertaining to Malachi 1 and 4? The Edomites. All right. And these secret counsels, they come up with things such as alligator Alcatraz. OK. And these secret counsels, they come up with things such as adding $150 billion to ICE's budget. OK, ultimately, what? Building their own military. OK, inside of America. This is what we're dealing with. So it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Insurrection. Let's get the definition of that word. Insurrection. It says insurrection, in simple terms, is a violent uprising against an established authority or government. Right. And this is what the elite are doing through the hands of Trump. OK, this is an insurrection, man. OK, a violent uprising. And what Trump is doing, through this agenda of the wicked elite is taking over America, man. He's taking over America. And he's putting in place a new authority, okay? Bringing about new laws, okay? Such as birthright citizenship. He's being a dictator. Ultimately, he's being a dictator, all right? This is the antimon of dictator. It reads Roman chief magistrate with absolute authority. And that's why I brought up this picture of Trump as Nero, okay? Because just as Nero burned down Rome and was a cruel lord during his reign in the Roman Empire, okay? Well, Trump is that guy in this revised Roman Empire, Rome 2.0, which is America. All right. That's why the architecture resembles or is exactly like the Roman Empire. Their branches of legislation, Democrat, Republican, everything in America is modeled after the Roman Empire. Okay. And just as Rome fell under Nero's rule, America is going to fall under Trump's rule. Thus saith the Lord, Jehovah Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, under the rule of this cruel Lord. All right. So it says in Latin, a dictator was a judge in the Roman Republic, temporary, invested with absolute power. Okay. And this man is acting as if he has absolute power, bypassing the Senate and the House, dropping bombs on nations, breaking international law, doing what he willeth, and ultimately not what he wants, but what the will of the wicked elite want. Okay? They want to bring about total chaos to reset this whole entire system. So it says, hide me from the Psalm 64:2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Right. The workers of iniquity, sin upon sin, man. All right. These rulers that are in charge are antichrist, man. They're completely against the Heavenly Father and his Son. Okay. In a righteous way of rulership. Okay. From there, let's grab 2nd Esdras chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 14. And real quick, ultimately, it's going to come to a point where the people are going to get fed up of this cruel Lord, and it's going to bring about sedition, okay? And you're seeing it now, uproars of the people. You got down in Mexico, mass militia kicking out all the so-called white people, burning down their establishment, throwing rocks through their restaurants, windows, telling them to get out of their country. All right. And you're witnessing a lot of mass sedition and protests around the world. OK, because when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. And this is the ultimate sound of mourning. All right. Sedition, uprising. OK, and that's what it all is going to boil down to. OK, and lead to. So it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Right. And what's the modern day sword? The gun. All right. And then if you go to Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, it reads, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Right. The American against the American, man. Democrat versus Republican, left versus right, black versus white, yellow versus blue. OK, it doesn't matter. All right. The Heavenly Father is going to bring division upon this whole earth. Rich versus poor, race wars, class wars, division at an all-time high. OK, so it says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right. And that's what we're leading. That's what all this is leading to. So it says, 2 Ezra 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. And that's what we're starting to witness. OK. Sedition, uproars of the people, banging on their government. OK. So, hey, like I always say, stay tuned. Matter of fact, let's get a little bit more. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. Right. Because their solution for all the sedition is going to be martial law. All right. Divide and conquer. All right. You've seen what happened in 2020. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Why? Because the love of many shall wax cold. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's about to befall this earth. Great tribulation, evil times. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom Israel. Wa abad babal.